Alright then, here we are live on Twitch right now, of course later on going on to YouTube. We are here with the very first Fate Grand Order Ultimate Fighting Game roster. I have, of course, myself, KitaSean, and we have a really awesome guest, Kawaii 50. Justin, how you doing, man?
I'm doing just dandy. I hope everyone in the chat's doing well too.
All right, man. So, as you probably know, Justin, we're going to be talking about our ultimate rosters. That we individually have our own roster here. We have, of course, a slot of 15 base characters, a base roster of 15 characters, and then we have a total of 10 DLCs, which we have 5 DLC characters per season. So we only threw in 2 seasons in this roster here. And then the rules are we can only use existing servants that are playable in FGO. So no Solomon, no Masters, no characters that appeared in the story that are, basically NPCs, and no characters that have not entered FGO yet. So literally all the characters, all the servants that are playable in FGO. So there are, I think, if I'm not mistaken, there are quite a few number of servants in FGO right now. To be more specific, a total of 426 servants that are in the game, NPC and playable. I think if you subtract all the bosses, maybe I want to say 420. I think, if I'm not mistaken.
Gosh, I had no idea we'd even gotten that far.
Yeah, so that's currently up to Kazura drop. Of course, later this week we are expecting a brand new servant to come out because of the new event for JP. But yeah, 426 is the current total amount. That's including, again, Kazura drop, the Hakunos, and all that good stuff. So yeah, basically how this is gonna work, Kawaii and I are basically gonna be choosing our servants. I'll be pasting them onto the document here, the Photoshop here, and then yeah, we're just gonna discuss, oh, this is why I think, or we think, this servant should be playable in this roster, or why this servant shouldn't. So we're gonna argue, we're gonna definitely butt heads here on exactly what we think is the best roster for a fighting game. So yeah, you ready, man?
Yeah, I have the list. We are good to go, and I had to edit out so many fighting game terms, but there are a couple of things I'm going to explain. Yeah, they're core to the characters I picked.
Yeah. So yeah. One of the other reasons why I have Kawaii as a guest here is because out of all the FGO content creators, he was literally the only person I knew that understands fighting games. I mean, I've always seen him post on X about fighting games. I know he watches Maximilian, dude, who we love. I think he's one of the greatest content creators out there, and that just clicked him. I'm like, okay, I have to have him when I talk about some kind of fighting game when it comes to FGO, because again, we're FGO content creators and we love fighting games. So if you guys don't understand the term of the fighting games that we throw out, then we'll definitely explain it. But anyways, I'm gonna go ahead and start. All right, is that cool?
Your stream, go for it.
All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and throw in 3 servants right away. The reason why I'm throwing in 3 servants right away is because I think these are servants that are staple. They have to be in this game no matter what, and I think you can agree with me on this one, and I think the viewers can also agree with me on this one. 3 servants I think that are a must no matter what you say. The first servant is going to be, get her on. The first servant got to be Saber, Alteria, no matter what. The face of the entire franchise, no matter what. She obviously, again, is the face of Type Moon, or Fate in general. She has been implemented in actually a couple fighting games. The very first one is the Capcom fighting game, Fate Unlimited codes, and then recently her most recent entry is Melty Blood. She was actually in a fighting game before. I think it was like Nitro Plus or something like that, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, she did show up in Nitro Plus.
Yeah. So so that was actually her first her debut as a 2D fighter. So that was actually really interesting. But yeah, I mean, again, she's the face of Type Moon when it comes to Fate Stay Night or Fate Grand Order. She has some really basic, I think, starting moves. I think she's going to be a very easy character to get into, if anything. We have her. Yeah, she has the Shoto of the franchise, right? And then I think she also has, again, a lot of really basic slash moves and stuff like that. I mean, if you look at the games that she was in as a fighting game character, you can steal those moves and bring her into into this game, no problem, I think. So yeah, Alturia Pendragon Saber for sure is a must. The next servant, I believe, has to be in here, and again, I think we can all agree on this one. Let me find his icon real quick. I downloaded literally every icon last night so that I can get ready for this. I think this character, again, a lot of us will agree on. I also think this servant is like the face of Type Moon Fate, and it's gonna be Emiya.
There he is.
Yeah, Emiya Archer. I think Emiya Archer would be a great character in a fighting game. I mean, if you played Unlimited Codes, then you guys know that he is not only a character that can fight close range and mid range, but he can also fight long range as well because of his bow. So I think he is a great character with a fireball, basically. You know, he has those arrows that he can shoot from long range to keep space. Again, he has his two swords that he can fight close range, right? And then I think he also would probably be a great beginner-friendly character, if anything. I think he would have great, like, you know, air attacks, like in the air, like down air or something like that, down kicks and stuff. So yeah, I think Emiya is a must-to-have in this fighting game. The other character that I think has to be in here. I mean, if you think FGO, then you definitely think this character, and that's going to be Mashu.
Yep.
Yeah. No matter
where
what.
I was going.
Yeah. There's no question you have to have Mashu in this fighting game. I mean, she recently got her debut in Melty Blood, right? So we can definitely take those ideas, throw it into this fighting game. I really thought about trying to put two Mashus in this game, and the reason why I thought about putting two Mashus in this game because the Ordinix version, right, the one with the black barrel and stuff like that. I thought maybe, I thought maybe if anything, we could kind of like just have that as like a costume, or maybe give her some movesets that have to do with the Ordinix. Maybe her special is black barrel. Or
level 3 black barrel,
something like that. Yeah, and then like, you know, like her first like move or her first special is like, what, I don't know, like, you know, defense, right, defense up or something like that. So yeah, we can probably give her like a level 3 like black barrel. I think that'd be perfect instead of implementing two Mashus in this game, right? Because I'm trying my best to stay away from putting in, you know, like an evil Ryu, right? Like I know there's alter versions, but yeah, I'm trying to stay away from that as much as possible. So
I did the exact same thing, man. The roster is just so big. You want to try to get some variety in there, some meat, some beef.
Yeah. So yeah, that's I think these three are a must in this fighting game. Let's go ahead and throw it to you because I've already put three characters on here.
I mean, I actually had, and we did not plan this before, chat. I actually had three. These characters 100% need to be in this game.
By the way, like we have no idea of each other's rosters. By the way, we had no idea. So.
Oh yeah, no. We wrote our own Google Docs and rosters in complete secrecy without talking to each other whatsoever about what we were including. All right, so for my first staple, Artoria. I mean, I think we could both easily agree on that.
Yeah.
Complete and utter auto include, easy to pick up combos, Ryu of the game. We basically said the exact same thing without even talking to each other. Simplest character to use, easily transferable from Melty Blood. There is just so much to go with that Artoria is perfect. Artoria is a perfect base to pull from. So, boom, we agree on that. Second thing I agree on, Mash. Mash, it's an FGO fighting game. She has to be in there. I feel like mechanically they could actually put her closer to the Ken to Artoria's Ryu. So while Artoria is more focused on basic stuff, because Mash doesn't really have projectiles outside of Black Barrel, you could give her similar inputs, but have her be way more focused on the rushdown, like Ken is to Ryu.
Right.
Ryu's got more of the basic fundamentals, wall bounces and stuff like that, but Ken's all about getting in there, punching, and destroying.
I can see that.
And then for my third auto include, I mean, you said Emiya, but man, I gotta go with Musashi. Musashi has to be the third auto include. So my reasoning behind that, she's a super popular character from both FGO and Samurai Remnant on top of that. So with the recent Samurai Remnant representation, I feel like that's just a big type moon win in general. Auto include. I think she would be a hyper aggressive attacker and would probably perform best as a Rekka character. Now this is where Justin explains a fighting game piece of terminology to all of you. So a Rekka move is a type of special move that has multiple stages. As long as you input more commands, you can continue the sequence, eventually ending in a powerful ender. This was mainly brought up by Fei Long from Street Fighter. He is the staple example, the OG character that created the sequence. So think like I'm gonna be saying inputs. You're all just gonna have to deal with it. But say like quarter circle forward A would be like her first sword slash, and then if you just hit A 2 more times without the quarter circle motion,
I
see. Third slash.
I see what you mean.
Swinging through like that. Yeah, so easily flowable combos, nice chains, maybe having opportunities like Cammy does in Street Fighter to end something in a high attack or a low attack in case your opponent's blocking. Lots of ways to just force your opponent into the corner and try to mix them up and just keep them from getting up, period.
Right.
I think all of that build is perfect for the kind of hyper aggressive character Musashi is.
Okay, yeah, no, that's I did think about that a little bit, but not to that much detail. So yeah, no, that actually makes sense, and I'm imagining it right now. That I can see her definitely be a Rekka character for sure, 100%. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
He's
definitely.
So good, so perfect.
Yeah. Okay. Well, let's go to the fourth character now. So yeah, like you said, I do think Musashi should be in this game. So yeah, I will be putting Musashi on my roster as well. Here's the thing though, I really thought about making her as a DLC character just for hype reasonings.
Ooh, okay.
Just to have like the players hype when a DLC comes out, right? I also thought about maybe having her a little bit like towards the middle, because again, hype reasonings, I don't want her to be like one of the first characters to be announced for this game, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, like, because you already said Musashi, I'm just gonna go ahead and throw her on my roster as well, because she is definitely a must in my opinion as well. I think she's a very popular character, not only in the base FGO game, very popular Fate Samurai Remnant, and yeah, she's just overall, I think, a great character. I think she'll be a very fun character to play with in a fighting game. And what's really great is that she actually has a lot of costumes that we can use. I mean, we have the Fate Samurai Remnant one. We have, of course, swimsuits. We also have like
cool noodles.
Yeah. So definitely, like, I feel like we can definitely take a lot of like move sets from Samurai Remnant and FGO combined together, right? I can definitely see that in a fighting game. I think that would mix very, very well. So Miyamoto Musashi, definitely a must in FGO, in an FGO fighting game for sure. All right, who's your fourth character, Just?
All right, so my fourth, I limited myself in my fourth to mechanics. A lot of stuff I put in here was limited to, I needed to make sure I included mechanical staples. Okay. And I thought, I really need to have a zoner in this game. We got to break the mold and get our first zoner. Now, what is a zoner, chat? A zoner is a character whose main game plan involves quote-unquote zoning their opponent to death, which means that they have powerful methods from attacking from long range, whether it's a projectile, some far-reaching normals, and they often have a strong way to move backwards and put distance between themselves and their opponent. Popular examples include Dawson from Street Fighter, Axl Rose from Guilty Gear, Morrigan from Marvel vs. Capcom 3,
Right.
Coglioso from Grand Blue Fantasy vs. Rising. This character would use zoning and trap setups to keep his opponents away from him, finish them from afar, and his entire way he fights in his anime he shows up in as well as FGO makes him perfect to be a zoner. It's Gilgamesh.
Gilgamesh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. That makes sense for sure. Like, I do remember playing with him in Unlimited Codes. He was for sure that zoner. Like, he would shoot his treasures, his weapons from behind, attack. He would throw chains. Have you played Unlimited Codes, by the way, or?
I did on my quote unquote hacked PSP. I say quote unquote for legal reasons. But yeah, I did play on my PSP a little bit of Unlimited Codes. And it was crazy good for a PSP fighting game. I couldn't believe it.
Yeah, it was fun. Like, I remember I was using Gilgamesh all the time, and I would do these combos because like there was actually a lot of unlimited combos in that game where like it's just like you can't break out of a combo. It's just unlimited. Like, it's just like infinites basically. So like Gilgamesh
will be a face slap and all that.
Yeah, like once you get into a corner with the opponent, like you just throw in Gilgamesh chains. He's just like cha-cha, 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 and then just like throw in a projectile in there so that you can keep them up in the air, and then throw your chains again. So yeah, for sure, Gilgamesh has to be that zoner. Like, he's definitely there. Here's the thing. I actually did not. I definitely was really debating on putting Gilgamesh Archer as a character for sure, but like I'm having like I didn't want to make this a Fate Stay Night roster. I didn't want to have so many Fate Stay Night rosters in this roster, so I decided to not put Gilgamesh, this version of Gilgamesh, in this roster. So I'll talk about that later, but I want to go ahead and talk about a different type of fighting game character. We're gonna go with grapplers.
Yes, my favorite.
Yeah, we're gonna go with grapplers. To be really honest, I felt like it was kind of really hard to decide on a grappler character in FGO because a lot of these characters have weapons, obviously. They don't really have like wrestling moves or anything like that. But if you think about wrestling, I think there are two characters that I believe fit that criteria. One of them is Quetzalcoatl, right?
Yeah.
And the other one is Astrea.
For sure.
I decided to go with Astrea. I think she just fits it perfectly. I mean, she already has a bunch of those wrestling moves in the in-game. I mean, she likes wrestling itself in the in lore-wise too. Luvia likes wrestling. So Astrea is my choice here as the very first grappler in this this roster. So Astrea Luvia is the grappler for my choice. For those who don't know what a grappler is, basically, again, up in your face, just like not letting you do anything, like just
constantly throwing you. Lots of different unblockable throws where you actually have to try to hit the throw button to try to get out. A lot of their special moves are throws, so you have to be like right next to your opponent in order to deal with that. So they perform very terribly against zoners, but if they're able to get in close to a zoner like Gilgamesh, they are just able to grapple them into oblivion.
Right.
Like Zangief. Yes, exactly, Sethi. Like Zangief.
Yeah, so like, I mean, I thought about other servants too. I thought about like servants like Sanson. No, not Sanson. I'm sorry. Servants like Heracles. I thought about Spartacus as well. I thought Spartacus would be a fun one because, like, for example, Spartacus, I feel like what could happen was like he grabs like his special. I think his special would be like a level 3 would be like a grab move, and he would just explode kind of thing.
like Android 16 from Dragon Ball
Yeah,
Fighters,
yeah,
where he just
yeah,
like
yeah.
jumps in. I have no other option.
Yeah, I was thinking about that. I really thought about that, but I was like, dang, Estrella actually, I think, fits a lot more to this criteria more than anything. So, I think this is probably something that has to be said. Like, I mean, it was definitely a debate against Quetz and Estrella for sure. So yeah, that's my grappler for right now. I actually have backups right now as servants who I want to throw in as well. So my choices actually might change as we go. So
Okay.
so yeah, but go ahead. Your fifth character.
No, I should. Well, since you picked your grappler, I picked Quetzalcoatl for my grappler.
Okay,
I
okay,
picked her.
fair.
True Zangief, Iron King, Potemkin, like Hager, like Lucha Libre throws out the wazoo. I feel like it just melds so perfectly into the entire grappler setup. I don't need her to get fancy with it. Just give her every single command grab. Give me a ground command grab. Give me an anti-air command grab if my opponent's jumping up. Give me a command grab that triggers if someone attacks me, and I counter. I feel like if there was any character that needed to be the most grab related, it had to be Cats. I couldn't give the slot to anybody else.
Yeah.
I did personally like you said, try to think about Estrella as well, funnily enough, but I just had to give it to Cats.
No, like again, it was a really hard decision. It really was.
Mm.
There's actually a reason why I didn't throw in Quetz. Or the reason why I chose Astrea than Quetz, but we're not gonna see that decision till later on. But yeah, Quetz. I think it's a no. It's either Astrea or Quetz for sure. And I think most people will agree with you on your choice compared to mine. I think so.
She's got a lot of love behind her.
Yeah.
A lot of love.
All right. Let's go ahead and change it up a little bit. Let's go ahead and have you go next again. Let's see your sixth character.
Okay. So for my sixth character, I had to pick my favorite. She's my favorite, so she's in. It's Barghest. Huge character, lots of powerful yet slow moves. She needs to have super armor to compensate, which, chat, if you've ever played a fighting game and hit somebody and their attack still went through and hit you in the face, that was because they had super armor. Sentinel from Marvel vs. Capcom was my main example of super armor. I need slow, powerful attacks that become devastating if they connect. Players that are able to land hits with Barghest will be able to keep their opponent on the back pedal, but must choose their moves carefully. We should also consider using the dogs as a long-range option, with her level 3 transforming her into her final form to use Black Dog Galantine. Just no ultimate damage from that ultimate, by the way. Like, Black Dog Galantine is a normal, but just even stronger normal. Sort of like, this is what's called an install, chat, when a character is able to use their super to transform into a more powerful version of themselves that deals extra damage, maybe gets a couple of new moves, things like that.
No, like I 100% agree. Barghest was definitely a character that I did consider putting in. She still is. Again, I'm planning to like go as we go throw in servants, but I'll just go ahead and just throw it in now. Barghest was actually not on my base roster. She was actually on my DLC. Yeah, she was on my DLC lineup, and she was DLC number 3 for season 1 for me.
I mean, I would pay additional money for Barghest, yeah. So good call.
So yeah, she was 100% DLC for me. Yeah, I completely agree. Like, definitely she would be a slower character, but does a lot of damage. Like, yeah, again, she can use the dogs as like projectiles. There are a lot of characters in this roster that I think that can fit that role. I mean, you have Heracles, you have like this is just my image of him, but before the whole Babylonia anime and what he was doing in that anime, that's how I imagined King Hassan to be.
Yeah.
Instead of the dogs, it would be like other Hassans that do the project, like
ooh,
go in,
like him calling 100 personas to help out.
Yeah, I imagine like what's his name from Marvel vs. Capcom, Sentinel, like throwing in the missiles.
Oh yeah, the tiny little sentinels. Yeah.
That's how I imagined him a little bit, but yeah, King Hassan was kind of like that one servant that I wanted to throw in, but I just didn't really want to because I felt like he'd be a little bit too slow, and I don't really think he would fit a fighting game, if that makes sense. That image is not there.
Like, try to one-hit KO and stuff that.
Yeah.
Like that's kind of his thing.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, that's kind of the reason why I don't have King Hassan in my roster at all. But yeah, no, I agree. Barghest, I think, is a great character choice here. I mean, it was definitely kind of hard because the members of the Fairy Knights was just like, dude, all these characters are great, and then I think they can all fit in this fighting game roster. But like, how do I put them in?
Yeah,
So.
I will say I thought about including like Balbon as well as like Kate Ku Sir Priestess just to mix it up, but that was ultimately one of the servants I ended up dropping from my list.
Yeah, no, I'll just say that now too. Balbon was definitely really hard. Like, she's definitely not on my list because I just thought that I feel like she'd be a very popular character. I feel like she'd be like I don't want to say like not like a fighting game character, like not the mechanic purpose wise, but like I feel like she'd be like that jury choice, like everyone how likes Jury's character. I feel like she would have been that, if that makes sense.
No, I totally get it. There would also be Balbon Seat feet picks.
Yeah.
FBO event everywhere.
But yeah, okay, so Barghest, I think, great choice for sure. All right, so we'll go with me again. So I also tried to stay away from sabers as much as possible. The reason why I try to stay away from sabers is because I feel like it's just so easy to make them into fighting game characters.
Oh yeah, it's so easy to just include a bunch of saber.
So like looking at all these servants, like I feel like it's very hard to implement like a caster. It's very hard, somehow very hard to implement like a ruler, stuff like that. Man, like Ishtar, for example. I think Ishtar, her character in general, I feel like is a must. But I'm looking at this as a developer. Implementing Ishtar in this game would be a headache because of her.
Yeah, like how do we do
weapon.
That? How do we make her, different enough? How do we make her fun?
So Ishtar is actually not on my list at all. That's kind of the reason why I threw her off the list. Man, it's really hard. Like, again, Atlanta, like, I thought about, like, do I want to put in the archer one? Do I want it in the berserker one? Like, because I don't want that many archers. I think berserker would be more unique,
Yeah, for sure.
Definitely really had some, like, hard nights, like, trying to figure out exactly what I want. Same thing with my waifu, Marie Antoinette. I'm like, dude, I'm just gonna throw Marie Antoinette because she's my waifu. But I thought about it. I'm like, I don't think she worked well at all. Like, maybe somehow they can do it, but I don't know. I had to.
How are we gonna do this?
Yeah, so I unfortunately have to throw off Marie Antoinette off the base roster. Avenger Marie, maybe I'll think about it if I really change my mind on the DLC aspect, but no, I think every fighting game should have a joke character.
Yeah.
Like a Dan. They have to have a Dan, right?
They absolutely do.
And honestly, the first character that comes to mind as a joke character, I think, is none other than Jaguar Man.
Yeah, Jaguar Man. Oh, that's a great pick for a joke character.
Right? Like, I mean, oh shoot, my bad. I don't, like, on top of your head, like, who do you think is a joke character? Like, who else do you think can be like a joke character?
I have to hold on to that because that's in my DLC.
Oh, okay. Got it. Oh, that's right. I forgot Dan was a DLC character one time. Forgot about that.
Yes, exactly. That's where my line of thinking went. Like, well, if Dan was DLC, I could include Joe character in my DLC. Right. Have it not be Neko arc because she's invalid right now.
Yeah. So yeah, joke characters. Basically, they are just a joke in the game. Like, they're not expected to win tournaments. They're not expected to be the strongest. They're not expected to be the weakest. But they do have some moves that are just fun, stupid, but also hype when it actually hits.
Yeah, they're funny, silly, out of left field, and if you beat someone who's like really sweaty online with them, they get the maddest.
Yeah.
So it's part of the beauty of the joke character. If you see anyone playing one.
So yeah, Jaggerman is my joke character, and I think she's definitely a character I would like to play as in a fighting game for sure, 100%.
Oh yeah.
All right, so
Chapping at Silva is the perfect joke character, just like in every other Fate.
Yeah.
Media.
Oh.
Oh man.
All right. All right. Let's go to your next character.
So you said you were having difficulty fitting in a caster. I had 0 difficulty fitting in a caster.
Oh, okay.
Because my next character is Zhuangzong Sanzong.
Oh yeah, yeah. That just makes sense.
Yeah. She fits right at home being a martial artist. When I was thinking of her moveset, I went and I read through everyone's like servant material that was included in the game, and I'm like, what part of this servant material would fit super well in a fighting game? And I read in Zhuangzong's servant material that she uses the weapons of each of her disciples, Sun Wukong, Zhu Baiji, and Sha Wujing. So immediately my mind went to Byleth from Smash Brothers and how Byleth uses each of the weapons. Let's go ahead and build Sanzong like that. I think she would super benefit from just pulling out a toolbox of all of her disciples' weapons and having at it. And I think that she would be a really interesting character if you gave her something like the powerful Enders from Killer Instinct. Again, chat, an Ender is a special move executed with either a heavy punch or heavy kick anytime after you've hit with a special opening move. Depending on the special move you do, your Ender will have different perks such as extra damage, more super meter gain, or what's called a wall splat, where your opponent bounces up against the wall, can't do anything for a second, and you can continue your combo from there. I think being able to do things like use your terrain effectively is a hallmark of a powerful martial artist. So let's give it to Sun Wukong's teacher.
Yeah, definitely. I can definitely see that for sure. Like, yeah, like she's actually a character that, like, if I were to choose a caster, yeah, for sure, she would be that character. And she's actually on my base roster too. So I'm just gonna go ahead and throw her on my my roster right now.
It's gonna be great every single time this happens.
Yeah,
just like, oh yeah, by the way, I picked that exact same character.
Yeah, so like you said, I think we can definitely see her do all that. I feel like a reference to, like, you know, even though they're not in the game just yet, right? Definitely you can use them as like an attack, you know, hey, go attack for me kind of thing, and then she can go in and like for example, let's say, I don't know, like Sun Wukong holds on to the enemy, she can just like dash in and do something, right? I think that'd be a great move. But yeah, she's definitely a character that for sure is on my roster.
Nice, we'll get them, boys. For the ultimate. Awesome.
Yeah. All right. I mean, I guess I'll go ahead and choose a character now because we agreed on, you know, those two that character. Another character, I think this was actually kind of hard. It was either this servant or this servant, but I decided to go with this servant because I wanted to stay away from, again, Fate Stay Night as much as possible.
Yep.
Shisho, Skaha.
Ooh.
Yeah. I think she is a must for sure. I mean, super popular, right? I think she's going to be a lot of players' go-to character, if anything. I think she's going to be great anti-air. I think she's going to be great in the air at doing like dive kicks. I think she can have, like, you know, a lot of like pokes, if anything, because of the lance. And I think she's going to be great mid-range, basically. Mid-range, I think that's where she's going to shine. So yeah, Skasaha for sure. In my opinion, a servant I think you should definitely add on to the roster.
Mid-range, hyper-aggressive. You can actually just put Skahawk up there next for me because I actually picked her over Ku myself.
Yeah, right? Yeah, it's really hard, right? Like, you know, Ku should be on this list, but like you have servants like Skaha It's like, oh, like, sorry, Ku, I gotta throw in the waifu instead.
Yeah, it's gotta happen. I thought of like super quick fighting style with like a dodge or parry mechanic, and I thought it would be really interesting if she had a mechanic like, did you ever play Persona 4 Arena?
I played it a little bit, but I wasn't really that into that, because this is when like I wasn't really huge into Persona, so I didn't really touch it too much.
Gotcha. So in Persona 4 Arena, Naoto Shirogane had a special mechanic where she got to cast Mudun or Hamaon, and in order for it to happen, she had to hit her opponent with a high risk, high reward move to get like a stack on them throughout the fight. But then the second that opponent hit 3 stacks, she cast Hamaon, and it was an instant kill. Like, they just died, no matter how crazy high their health bar was.
I see.
And so I was thinking, have that as a mechanic for Gaybolg.
I see.
And eventually Gaybolg pierces, altering probability, or however Nasu has decided that Gaybolg works today. Like, I think that would be super duper fun.
I see. No, okay, I can definitely see that for sure. Like, oh shoot, I can definitely see her like you know, like, how do I say it? Like, I feel like it might be a little hard to do it, but like her level 3, I feel like it could be like kind of like her assassin MP, and then her maybe her level 3 should be her normal MP, if anything. That just makes more sense.
Just straight up Gaybolg alternative.
Yeah, it just makes sense.
Yeah,
and like,
no, I get it. The assassin one does look neat, but Gaybolg alternative, we gotta do it.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. All right. Yeah. We both agree on not only something, but Skasaha as well. I'll go ahead and have you choose the next one.
All right. I actually have another caster that I included,
Okay.
and it is Leonardo da Vinci.
Oh. Okay.
The OG, not the rider. The OG specifically.
Right. Adult Da Vinci, right?
Yeah, older Da Vinci.
Okay,
so, you know, core FGO character, I feel like she should get a slot with super focused and, like, relevant in part 1. A caster that can be focused around gadgets and traps, as is the case in her FGO basic attacks.
I didn't think about that. Okay.
Oh, yeah. Not a lot of people think about things like trap characters, but after playing Grand Blue and fighting all those Cagliostros online, where they end up just building traps and bouncing you against the wall and just using magic to keep you in place while they pummel you from everywhere. Yes, exactly, Darth. And she has the big punch gauntlet to boot.
Yeah.
Yeah, and she also has a fun listed ability in her lore where she can reconstruct any enemy's noble phantasm. So maybe some sort of counter to an enemy's super as one of her own supers. I think that would be a super duper fun way to use meter. Very punishing if you miss the timing on the counter and then they just super you anyways. But I think that could be really, really neat.
Okay. No, that's actually interesting. Yeah, she was definitely... I was debating if I really wanted to put Da Vinci on this list. I didn't really go into that deep when I thought about putting her as a fighting game character. To me, I thought just throwing Da Vinci as a menu character, just, you know, at the main menu kind of thing.
Oh yeah,
that's how I saw her. So yeah, unfortunately, Da Vinci is not on my list, but I actually really like that. That's actually definitely a great idea. Like, I think maybe in the next installment, Fate Grand Order versus 2 or something like that, she'll probably be in there.
Yeah, Fate Grand Order versus SNK, it'll happen.
Something like that. Yeah. Okay, yeah, no, that's actually a really good one. I like that for sure. All right, so my turn now. I just think you cannot disregard her. I think she is a servant that, like, I think most players will just really want to see her in this game. And surprisingly, none of us have Berserk. Wait, do we have Berserkers? No, right? None of us have Berserkers yet?
None of us have Berserkers yet.
Okay,
nope.
Yeah, none of us has Berserkers, right? So I'm gonna go ahead and throw in Raiko.
You can just throw that straight on my list too. Raiko was an auto.
Yeah, right. So yeah, Raiko is, I think, just a must. I mean, not only does she have like her, I feel like it's like her Noble Phantasm will be a great finisher. I think that's like a no-brainer. But I think she's just a servant that you must have for sure.
Yeah, I mean, Raida knows how to make some goddamn money with his designs, so like we've got to put his most famous design character in there. I like really think if we're doing Raiko, she needs to be a glass cannon character who like cannot take a hit to save her life, but deals out some of the most damaging normals in the entire game.
I agree. Yeah, for sure. I 100% agree with that. All right. So your second row is actually completed. So I'm just gonna go ahead and finish up my second row. So this one I thought was kind of a no-brainer as well, because I mean I only have one male character on my list. You only have one male character on my list. We got to throw in some male characters on this list.
Oh yeah.
So I'm gonna stick with the Berserker theme and someone related to Raiko, Sakata Kintoki.
I actually, as much as I love Kintoki, I ended up cutting him for Raiko. I was so close on the cusp, but man, do I love Kintoki. Tell me more. Tell me more about your vision of Kintoki.
I think he's just that one servant that's gonna basically do a lot of damage, like for sure. I mean, like Raiko, he's gonna be like a glass cannon in a way, but just does massive damage. I like what's that character's name from Soul Calibur? Siegfried or Nightmare?
Yes.
I can somewhat see him like that in a way, and yeah, just like doing just giant swings like that. That's how I see him.
Just huge arcing swings with lightning everywhere and stuff like that.
Kind of like how you explain Barghest a little bit. So I think that'd be great. And then I think his projectile would be like throwing his axe or something like that. I think that'd be a good thing. So yeah, that's my my other heavy character. So from here on, like I don't think I have any other heavy characters. So I think that might be it for my heavies. But we'll see. Again, I might change a little bit as we go. But yeah.
I have one more heavy on my list.
Okay.
Someone in chat said closer to Astaroth for Kintoki. Yeah.
Astaroth. Yeah, Astaroth from closely. Yeah, basically kind of like that. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. All right. So for my next one, I thought, you know what always makes Tekken great is a Hwoarang. Everyone loves when they end up fighting against a Hwoarang.
I know where you're going with. Yeah.
So this game needs its own Hwoarang. Therefore, this game needs Melt. We need Melt with all of her like meaty kicks and different kicking combo paths to show up in this game. Like I just immediately picture Hwoarang from Tekken. The ability is able to like get into a kick stance, and then you don't know which of the other 17 different kicks he's going to do, but one of them's going to hit you, and it's going to hurt, and it's going to juggle you against the wall. It's just going to happen. So Melt super duper fits into that, and I would also love her to be able to, just because of the fact that her feet are pointy, I want her to be able to cling to walls like Vega from Street Fighter. I want her to be able to bounce against the wall, slide down super slowly, and then be able to, just bounce off and catch people unawares when she jumps up in the air.
Yeah, I can definitely see her have that that Vega slide for sure. Or not Vega, I'm sorry, Bison slide as well. I can definitely see that.
Oh, yeah.
So sorry, Vega's the Japanese name of Bison, so like that kind of just like threw me off. So like how do you think a Hwoarang type character would work in like a 2D aspect? Like, is there like another example you have maybe?
I mean,
I guess Ken.
We do have our Hwoarang types characters. Yeah, we do have Kens, and
Chun-Li, huh? That's right. Yeah.
Character Chun-Li, yeah, Chun-Li would definitely be a way to, fit that in there and end up, pushing your opponent. But Hwoarang, they did have him in, he was in Street Fighter Cross Tekken, wasn't he?
Oh yeah, you're right. Yeah, you're right.
Forget about that game, but he was in Street Fighter Cross Tekken. So I'm thinking pulling like his basic moveset from there into this game would be the way to do it. That was actually the whole reason why I ended up pulling that in there. I was like looking through fighting games, trying to figure out, what can we pull from to, make this game feel mechanically different. And I'm like, what's a fighting game nobody ever talks about anymore? And Street Fighter Cross Tekken. Is there anything I can pull from that?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. That makes sense. But man, all right. Melt, huh?
Yeah.
I definitely thought about putting in Melt as well. I really did. But I just really couldn't figure out a way how to implement her, because like I like yourself, I was thinking about throwing from Tekken as well. But again, my mind immediately went to like, wait, this is not a 3D fighting game like Tekken or Virtual Fighter or Soul Calibur.
Oh
This
yeah.
is a 2D, so I just don't know how that would work. I can kind of see a Chun-Li style, but at the same time, not really for Melt. I just don't see her being like Chun-Li, so that's why I thought I did not put her on my roster whatsoever.
And again, straight to my point, nobody ever thinks about Street Fighter Cross Tekken.
Yeah. So yeah, that's kind of the reason why I did not put her on my list. But okay, all right, I'm gonna go ahead and choose another character here. So I still think we're lacking on the male department. So I'm gonna go ahead and throw in a servant. I think might be a little bit coming from left field for you. I don't think you thought about this. This is just again my my thoughts on it, but I think this character is maybe also gonna surprise the chat a little bit as well. But my next character is an assassin, and this character I've mentioned this before years ago. This character is a huge fan favorite when it comes to the female fan base. To this day, I still don't understand why.
Yan King?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, my
Um,
wife really likes Yan King. I understand.
yeah.
I understand.
So, yeah, I think he's what, my first assassin? Do you have an assassin? No, you don't have an assassin either. So, yeah, the very first assassin on this list. I think he is gonna be a record character. I think he's my record character, if anything, because like,
nice.
like we discussed earlier, I didn't really see Musashi as a record character. I thought Musashi was just like, a basic like, not zoning, but like a basic like fighting game character with two swords, right? That's what I thought. But my record character is Young Queen. He's my Fei Long. Yeah, I mean, he looks like him.
Oh, he is Fei Long.
Yeah. He's my Fei Long. So yeah, Young King is there for me.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
I guess I'll lead right into, I actually have a male assassin as my next character. So I'm going to go ahead and follow your trend. Absolutely. My male assassin to include, however, was Tezcatlipoca.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
I mean, I can kind of see why. Yeah, but like I need to listen to this. Like, why Tez?
So I mean Tez in general, I immediately gravitated towards him just because I want to see First Son Jibalba in like glorious HD. I want to see that in my game. I think it's one of the coolest noble phantasms in the game. I think he's just such an interesting design character. I know his art is like divisive, but I just really like him, the way he is presented and through his fighting style. And then as I went and decided to expand on it, I thought, wait a minute, Happy Chaos from Guilty Gear. That is Tezcatlipoca. So
you're right.
He's my Happy Chaos of this game.
I see.
He is my, just use that gun. Use that gun. It is featured prominently in your art. Why wouldn't we use it? Let's just go. He will be pure First Ascension. That's his coolest outfit. I want to see him as an assassin with a pistol. Sort of like, this man is the Hitman Blood Money of this entire game.
Dang, he's gonna be a really annoying character then.
Sure. Yeah, just a lot, a lot.
Yeah, he's for sure that one character you never want to see when you go online or in tournament, for sure.
Yeah, every game needs one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I agree with that one, for sure. Damn, that's annoying.
Yeah, he would be a character where it's like you look at the top 10 of finals and like 8 of the players are playing Tez. Like he would be that character.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. All right. Dang, that's annoying. All right. So, going back to Young Queen a little bit, actually. So, there was actually another character that I thought that could have took his place, and that was Li Shuwen.
Ooh.
Yeah, Li Xuan is a very popular character, which is crazy, right? Fate Samurai Remnant. He's in obviously in FGO and other Fate games. Because he was just way too popular, and because he's in so many games, I wanted to give Yang Qing a little bit of shine there. So that's
No,
why I
that totally
decided.
makes sense.
Yeah, that's why I decided to go with Yang Qing instead of Li Xuan. So yeah, that's something I also wanted to throw in there. All right, man, now it's getting a little hard. After hearing that explanation on Tezcopia, I was like, ooh, that's a good one. Now I'm gonna keep her for DLC. I think she is meant for DLC, so I'm just gonna wait on that.
Oh yeah, there's certain characters where you're like, I can't include this in the base roster.
Yeah.
This is a hype moment to be announced at Evo in a trailer.
Right.
What that character is.
Ah, man, this is gonna be a little hard. You know, I'm gonna throw him in here because I just think he had. I know I said I don't want to have Fate Stay Night characters. I don't want to throw in so many Fate Stay Night characters in here, but I feel like he just has to be in here no matter what. But I'm not gonna throw him in as his standard form. When I mean standard form, with how he was first announced. I'm gonna throw in. So this was a toss-up between the two, but I'm gonna go ahead and throw in Gilgamesh Caster.
Ooh, okay. I figured that would be how we'd be seeing Gilgamesh in your game.
So I think this Gilgamesh Caster, I think would be interesting. Again, like I really like your idea of the zoning Gilgamesh. I think that's like probably like staple in any way. But to me, Gilgamesh Caster, I think is going to be a very more intriguing character to play with. Again, I think he's going to be good on the long range, the mid range. I think he's going to be great as like I think footsies. Maybe he might be a great character. It's kind of hard to imagine that, but I think he might be a really good footsie character.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I think Gilgamesh Caster is just the Gilgamesh for me. Plus, I actually like this Gilgamesh more than the Archer version. That might be a hot take.
Bold statement.
Yeah, that might be a very hot take, but I actually like this Gilgamesh better than the Archer one.
Yeah, that is a dangerous thing to say for the FGO community.
Yeah.
Also, I think we need to explain to your chat what footsies are.
Oh,
so footsies is a complicated and nebulous term that refers to the battle for controlling space in front of you, often by using good pokes. In essence, you, the player, are trying to get into a range you like while trying to deny your opponent the range they like. How you do this varies wildly based on the game, but it often involves around using strong crouching attacks to pester your opponent as they are trying to walk around. This dance of playing mind games with your feet is the source of the term footsies.
Yeah. So yeah, to me, I feel like I can see him being really great at footsie. Like him, Yang Qing, I think Zhao Long could be really great at footsies. But I was really debating to put either him or Crewcaster. It was one or the other for sure.
Ooh, yeah.
Like if I was trying to implement one of those two guys, it'd be you know, the caster version. But yeah, that's my interesting, I guess, pick for my roster.
That is very, very interesting for sure. So next I'll pull in Blanca and JP from Street Fighter. Yes, Sethi, both very good at footsies. So for my quote unquote interesting pick, a character in a different form, I was thinking hard as I was going down this list, you know, like, okay, I've got like Tez, I've got Kets, I've got all these characters that are good as like grapplers and zoners and all that. I just need a straight brawler character I need to include at this point. We need to give people some sort of like vanilla, you know, option with a different moveset than our standard included characters. So who am I going to pick for that? Well, that is going to be Saint Martha Summer specifically.
Ooh, specifically the summer version. Okay.
Specifically Saint Martha Summer. between her ability to JoJo's punch enemies into oblivion, as well as summon the Tarrasque just from the sky, I think that's another very powerful candidate for some Rushdown. Just when you see someone like that who basically, the second she shows up, she has a fighting game character costume. She straight up seems like she has a 90s fighting game character costume. I felt like, okay, if we're including another brawler character, I think she's going to be a good character to pull from.
Okay. Like, to me, yeah, like, Martha was actually never on my radar, unfortunately.
Oh wow.
Yeah. I mean, I did think about it. Oh yeah, I mean, she is, you know, your typical like brawler character for sure, the Rushdown type character. But like, I thought, you know what, I have characters, like I have Rekka characters in this game already. I have Australia in my lineup, so I was like, you know, maybe I don't need to throw in someone like Martha, but okay, like, I mean, yeah, that's definitely, to me, just to me, that's an interesting choice, but okay.
Oh no, your opinion's different from mine.
But
I get it.
But
I guess she can be a polarizing choice for a lot of people.
Yeah.
Like, maybe not that popular, but she's always a character I've really liked and really like using. So I guess that's a little bit of my bias showing.
No, but I mean, like, no, I like that because, again, like, for example, Grand Blue Fantasy versus, like, there are a lot of characters that you didn't think that would be playable if you're a Grand Blue Fantasy fan, right? Like, if you're someone that's never played the actual base game, then obviously it doesn't really matter. But like, for like a fan of Grand Blue Fantasy, it's like, whoa, that character is a fighting game character, huh? Interesting. So I mean, there's so many characters in Grand Blue Fantasy. You can definitely see this character become playable here and there, but I like it. I like the pick. I really do. I think it's a great pick.
Thanks.
But here's the thing. I would have probably changed it. I would have probably put Bazette instead. That's my opinion.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah. That probably would have been my pick. But speaking of Rushdown characters, I do have a Rushdown character, and I do think this is actually a servant that has to be in here for sure. Mordred. Yeah, I think Mordred is.
Skadi-sama, thanks for the raid.
Oh, thank you, man. Appreciate that. No, yeah, I think Mordred would be my Rushdown character, if anything.
Yeah, so, I mean, that's really entirely up her alley.
Yeah. Like, just, I mean, I'm not, again, if you've watched Apocrypha, then you know she can move. So
oh yeah, definitely.
And then yeah, I think she'd also be a really great like a rush down, up in your face type character. I think she'd be pretty good in the mid range as well, and I think she can have some pretty good swings here and there.
Oh yeah, she does use her fists a lot when she's fighting with her swording.
Right.
A lot.
So yeah, Mordred's my rushdown character.
Bene. Okay. Oh god, we got 2 left for the
base roster. It's hard, man. It's really hard.
Man.
Like I'm also thinking about like how can I make myself happy? How can I make players happy? How can like you add this in mechanically, like as a developer? It's really hard because there's so many great characters I think would be really hype as fighting game characters, but it's just like we're so limited.
How do you make a roster where it's like the problem you were talking about with like Grand Blue and all that, how they pull just out of nowhere characters and maybe have like 4 fans or something like that. You need to create an interesting roster where it's like, oh well, all those character picks are obvious. Like you can't do that. So my next pick is going to be Li Shuen Lancer.
Okay. I think Li Shuen is a pretty obvious choice, and to be honest.
Yeah, I go on that entire tangent. I end up picking Li Shuen Lancer, but I ended up picking him mainly so we could have a character in there with a substantial reach. I just think about the way Li Shuen ends up fighting with a spear, and the fact that he uses, a lot of that fighting style. That's the spear is so flexible. My mind just immediately goes to, seared into my memory permanently, the Dynasty Warriors 5 opening intro cinematic, where Zhao Yun is fighting a gigantic group of enemies, and he is just bending his spear and using it to slingshot him stuff around and stuff like that. And I'm like, yes. Bendy Spear. Who is going to be great to use Bendy Spear? Li Shuen. I want him to have some movement tools in his arsenal as well. I really want him to schmoove. So like Terry Bogard in the new Street Fighter 6 DLC has the ability where he can hop into the background and then just hop back out on the other side of the opponent. Give Li Shuen something like that. Give him the ability to, like, you know, slide to the other side of his opponent and continue the onslaught from behind him. Let him be able to float and move around his character and sort of find the absolute best way to open them up. And technically, maybe even, you know, open them up from an angle where they can't block if you time it just right.
Okay. No, that's actually okay. No, that's actually a pretty good explanation. Yeah, I can go with that for sure. All right, so I think this is actually a little bit of an interesting pick as well. I really thought about this one, and there have been iterations of these type of characters in multiple fighting games, especially in the Street Fighter franchise. I'm gonna go with a character that can inflict poison. So poison damage. I'm gonna go with Shutendoji.
Hey, nice!
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, the game gets its very own Aki. That's great.
Yeah, I really thought about it. I'm like, do I really want to put a character like Aki in this roster? And who can do it best? The only person I can think about is Shutendoji.
Yeah, the answer is yes. If we can put in an Aki, we're putting in an Aki. That's a great call.
So I also think she could be a pretty good zoning character as well, if anything, because she doesn't really go right in your face a lot. She can use like her sake to like push back characters in a way, like a wave of sake to push back. I think that'd be really interesting. I think hitbox wise, I think she's gonna be a little bit annoying to fight against. And yeah, I think Shuten, if we're gonna throw in a poison character, it's gonna be her.
Perfect. No. If there is a poison candidate, it was between Shutendoji and Hassan of the Serenity.
Yeah,
those are the only two possible options.
I thought about that too. I was like, do I really want to put Hassan of the Serenity in here? But I feel like design wise, I think Shuten pops out more. So
for sure.
Yeah.
Plus you've got like the Raida trifecta there in your character list right now. That's beautiful.
Yeah, Kintoki, I'm actually thinking about it right now. I'm actually kind of thinking about removing Kintoki and throwing someone else in that slot instead. But anyways, your last slot for your base roster.
My last slot for my base roster. This one's going to be surprising unless you're, you know, people who have watched me routinely know how much I love this character in FGO. For my final pick of the roster, it's like we need a Akuma, we need a Beelzebub, we need a Geese Howard, we need a Heihachi Mishima, we need a crazy boss style character with an oppressive fighting style that just makes you feel like there's no hope when you end up fighting them. I know most people would gravitate towards Heracles for this. I get it. I understand. However, I am going to go ahead and pick strictly better Heracles instead. I'm going to pick Zhongyu.
Zhongyu. Okay.
Yeah, literally one of my favorite designs in all of Fate Grand Order, period. Zhongyu. I love the crazy centaur fighting style. This is an option for us to also give an homage to Motaro from Mortal Kombat, so we can pull some Motaro moves and throw them onto Zhongyu, because it's not like there hasn't been a centaur in a fighting game before. So we've got his Motaro fighting style. We've got his ability to spin around and razor through people with his gigantic swords. We've got huge monstrous jumps that ends into slams and thunder strikes. Give me the Horseman. Put the Horseman up there on the screen. I need to see him right now.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, I do think a boss character like a character needs to be in every fighting game. I did actually think about putting him in my roster too. I did.
Yes, good.
I did.
More people should love Zhongyu.
Yeah, unfortunately, he's not on my roster. The reason why is because you just stated it. You need to see a Cerberus type character. You need to see a horse type character. You need to see that type of character Just a big character, right? I thinking about all those elements, I was like, I don't know if I can seize that. Like, I don't know how that's gonna work out. I just went straight to like developer mode. Like, how am I supposed to implement this into this game? So yeah, man.
That was my thought too, and then I'm just like, wait, Motaro happened. This is not without precedent. Let's just throw him in there like Motaro.
That's a really interesting one. Like, I mean, if only Solomon was playable, I would throw him on my last slot instantly.
Oh yeah,
for sure.
Oh yeah.
And
I thought about that too a lot. Like someone able to use each of the 10 rings and they all have a different ability and cycle through there. Trust me, I agonized over Solomon too until I reread what you sent me and I'm like, God damn it.
You can't use him. No, yeah, Solomon would be my instant choice if I can throw him in. Man, this is hard. Like I definitely thought about the big boss character. There's just I feel like there's just so little, I think, in this roster of like what are this 400 and what did I say earlier, 426.
You said the weed number, that one. Yeah
420. Yeah. I feel like it's just so little, man, like
so many. There's when you even get into beasts on top of that too, it's like, well, we've got like 2 playable beasts, so
and then not only that, like, you want to keep some of these servants for DLC for hype reasons, right? So I think I might go. Ooh, this is a hard one, actually. This is a really hard one.
You can do it.
Man, do I really want to put this guy in?
Help him out, chat. Tell him to do it. Whatever he's waffling about, tell him to do it, chat.
Man, this is hard. I think, you know what? No, I'm not gonna do that. No. No, that character's for my DLC for sure. Like, I have to put that character as my DLC. Man, the choices are hard. All right, I'll go ahead and tell you one of this is actually not in my DLC, but a character that I really thought. I think you know what? I think I might actually. All right, let me do this. I'm gonna replace Kintoki.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna replace Kintoki. Because I definitely want to put like an evil looking boss type character.
Gotcha.
But I don't want to have multiple of like that same type of character. So instead of Kintoki, I'm gonna go ahead and throw. Again, I said this earlier. I don't want to put Type Moon characters, but I need to have an evil like character. It has to be Ku Berserker. Ku Alter.
Ooh, there he is. I was thinking about him for that.
I have to throw him in. Unfortunately, I know I stated I can't. I don't want to put so many Fate Stay Night characters. I have to put Ku Alter as that boss type character.
Technically not a Fate Stay Night character.
Technically no. But I just
first alter any of us picked.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. I was actually thinking about you know how you stated we need an evil Ryu.
Mm-hmm.
I'm really debating if I want to put in Saber Alter as my evil Ryu.
Ooh, I mean if there's an evil Ryu, that's the evil Ryu. It has to be
it, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's like
unless you do like Santa Alter or something like that.
Yeah. But no, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna remove Kintoki, throw in Ku Alter instead. But this actually makes my last choice of my base my base character a lot easier now. And I don't know if you thought about this. Maybe this is actually your DLC character. But I do want to throw in like another boss-like character, and that's gonna be Gen Alter.
Ooh, actually, that is a boss character.
Yeah.
That is a DLC character for me. That's my DLC 2 number 3 pick.
Okay.
Yeah.
That
was my just put that in now. That was my this is the last DLC, so it's time to make some goddamn money character. Like that was That was the whole reason I picked her.
You said DC season 1 or
Season 2.
Season 2?
Yeah.
Season 2? So late.
Yeah, no. Yeah, super late. Yeah, no, that was like, hey guys, we need to pull our player base back right here at the very end. Who are we going to throw in there? Well, Jalter is going to be the third part of our Season 2 DLC. We are pulling the whole player base back with this character.
That's so late. Wow,
right?
You're going to make Sakamoto Maya wait? Wow.
Yes. I know she'll buy it, that's why.
Dang, wow, that's interesting. Okay. All right, so we have our base roster. Honestly, I honestly looking at my base roster, I'm looking at Jaggerman. I'm like, why are you here? I know you're a joke character, but why are you here? I want to replace you with someone. But if before we move on to the DLC, any changes you want to make right now on your base roster?
I'm looking at my base roster, and I'm looking through here, and I know I made a decent argument for Li Shuwen. Mm-hmm. I know. But thinking about it as I'm, going through this list and looking at some other characters we had included, there is somebody I cannot believe that I didn't end up including. So I'm going to need you to go ahead and I'm going to need you to remove Li Shuwen. And I'm going to need you to remove Li Shuwen and instead slot in Taira no Kagakiyo.
Oh.
Yeah, I can't believe I forgot about her. Probably because I've never pulled her, despite trying. But yeah, no, I'm looking through that. I'm like, it feels like something's missing. And I'm just like, why didn't I put Taira in here? What is wrong with me?
I like the choice. To be honest, I like that better than Li Shuwen for sure.
Yeah. I'm like, what feels completely and utterly wrong about this? And that was it. Like, I get we have Ushiwaka in Melty Blood. I understand that. But Taira, come on. Taira is like so monstrously good in every event she shows up in, and she's monstrously good just as a like character in the game. Like her last stand abilities are freaking second to none, kind of like a weird similar parallel to Ku Alter. So I definitely, we need to put Taira in there. I think this is now my only servant. Yeah, it's also, I didn't have only one servant on the roster using a katana. What kind of weeb am I? Sorry, 2. Let's make it 3 now. Yeah, no, we need 3. We need 3 people using katanas on the roster.
I mean, it was really hard for that base roster because like there's so many servants that in the Saber class that like you think should be a must, like Okita Soji, right? You think is a must. But again, you don't want to have so many sabers. You don't want to have so many servants that are kind of like similar in a way, right?
Yeah, and like feeling like not having a base Avenger on there with how popular the Avenger class is. The second I saw you include Jean, I'm like, why didn't I include an Avenger in the base roster? So yeah, that way we'll also make the Ushiwaka fans happy on top of that. So yeah.
I just realized I didn't put did I put a writer? No, I didn't put a writer in my base roster. I just realized that right now.
Oh yeah, no, chat's been like, why doesn't Kita have a rider? They're like, where are the riders? The only rider is Quetzalcoatl.
Yeah. I'll be throwing in a rider in my DLC. Like I have a rider in my DLC. So it's just like really hard to put in a rider, I feel like, in a way, depending on like the servant, but I do have a rider up my sleeve. Yes. It's it's an interesting choice as a DLC, if anything. I feel like this rider should have been a base roster, but yeah, I just thought that these servants are a must as a base. Like maybe Astrea, I could have probably switched out Astrea as a DLC, if anything, but I needed a grappler character, so that's why I threw it in there.
We're also just gonna naturally want to include some of our favorites. Like it's just going to happen. Yeah. Like characters we really enjoy are going in there.
Okay, so this is where it gets a little bit interesting. This is where I guess lineup matters, how we announce these characters for our DLC. So as you can see, we already have 2 servants in our DLC, one apiece. I have Barghest as my DLC 1 number 3, and then Kawaii has J Alter as his DLC number 3 slot. So remember, these are servants that are going to be announced at like events such as Evo or Evo Japan, maybe during some kind of like gaming award stream or something like that. Maybe during FGO anniversary or something. So yeah, these are characters that we believe are going to hype up the crowd. Maybe there might be a servant here or there that's not going to be like, it's going to be like a wasted slot kind of thing. But yeah, these are servants that we believe will hype up the player base as these DLC characters get announced. So I'm going to go ahead and throw in this character. I think everyone wants to see this character, and this is a character that I think a lot of players want to see in Melty Blood but never happened. The new Melty Blood, by the way. I'm gonna go ahead and throw in Yogi Shiki.
Ooh, there we go. Yeah, that's definitely a number 1 character to immediately pull the hype.
Yeah, right. That's a hype. That's a character you announced during is it a character you announced during Evo?
I think so. Yeah. I think that's a character you announced during Evo.
Yeah, I mean,
I think that's one where like
Melty Blood fans are familiar. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah, that is the entire Melty Blood setup, running out of the men's room and being like, no.
Yeah.
That's a fighting game community joke, by the way, chat. Look up Melty Blood being played in the men's room, and on
top of trash cans. Yeah, on the hallways.
Yeah. The wandering Melty Blood setup.
Yeah. Yeah, there you go. That's my DLC 1, season 1 DLC number 1 slot. That's my hype character to start off the DLC campaign.
Powerful opener. My opener was Morgan.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah, my opener for DLC 1 was Morgan.
Okay.
I made sure specifically that my DLCs each included one quote unquote saber face. So Jalter was my DLC 2 Saberface.
Yeah.
So Morgan is my DLC 1 Saberface. Need that in the Type Moon tradition, and just laser beams and flying swords covering the entire screen. Yeah. What else do I need to say about Morgan Le Fay? Yeah. Everyone will be happy. Yeah. It is guaranteed to make people buy the season pass. Period.
Yeah. So Morgan Le Fay was actually my last slot for DLC 1.
Ooh,
yeah,
okay.
To end season 1, I think you had to go out with a bang, and Morgan was that for me.
Oh, okay. Don't you worry. My DLCs also go out with some kind of weirdo bang. So okay. I feel ya. We have the same sort of mindset.
Mm-hmm. All right. So I already have 3 characters on my DLC 1. So I'll just
finish out your DLC. Finish the whole thing. Do it.
Okay.
Yeah. Finish DLC 1. Show me.
Whew. All right. Let's see here. So my DLC number 2. I think this servant is a must. I think a lot of people will be super happy with this, especially the fan base, BB.
Yeah. Funny enough, I did not include BB in mine at all.
Oh, really?
BB did not make the cut, no.
What is wrong with
I had to be a little selfish in some of my picks. I know.
I mean, I guess you have one Sakura face in there, so that's fine.
Exactly. I had at least one Sakura face. So, and you had no Sakura face in your base roster. So the community is going to be like, "What? Where's the Sakura face?"
That's why you hype him up for the DLC. So no, BB I think is going to be a fun servant. Again, I think she's going to be a great character to be announced during the fall. I can already see it. The trailer is where you just have her appear static BB Channeru.
The theme starts playing in the chat and everyone just goes, "What?"
Yeah. I think she's gonna be a character that's gonna have a spin move, what's that character from? I can't remember the character name, but they're the character that kind of spins and does it does a little tornado attack and then goes into combo after that. I think she can do that.
My mind just immediately goes to Taukaka from Blaze Blue, but I don't think that's who you're...
No, it's not who I'm referencing. I can't remember the name of the character. Crap. But yeah, I can see her do that. Just start off with her combo spin and then go into the combo. throwing a heart. I can see her like her attack animations, like dressing up as her all her different costumes. I can also see her like throw in like the Sakura 5 members to attack. And then her special is gonna be her summer one, like the destroying the ground, bringing up the ground, destroy the ground.
Yeah.
I think that's gonna be a really solid character to play. So yeah, BB is my DLC number 2 for season 1.
For sure.
I'm gonna let you go ahead and do your DLC number 2 here. I'm actually kind of debating who I want to add in my DLC number 4.
I'm gonna let you all know, chat. I agonized over my DLC specifically for you all. There is not a single Romance of the Three Kingdoms character in my entire game. I built this game for all of you. Otherwise, Lobu and Zhongjue would have been easy includes. But all right. So for my next bit, I want you to imagine. I want you to imagine that we are sitting there, and then you just are. It's just black screen. You know, there's some sort of announcement coming up. You know, Type Moon, French Bread, and all of that starts playing up on the screen. Whoever's developing it, and then you just hear piercing through the din of the announcement the voice of Joji Nakata, and then Grigori Rasputin is revealed as the next DLC character.
Okay. Rasputin.
You think we're not going to give Joji Nakata more work? Like, it's going to happen. The man's just too good at everything he does.
No, I can definitely see Joji-san in this game for sure. So
yeah, so I mean, we had the entire, you know, society has been irreparably altered ever since there was the Fate Zero fight scene between Kiritsugu and Kodomine. Like, society has been irrevocably altered. We have to make sure the Black Keys make an inclusion in here, especially with how much they have upset the FGO fan base as a whole whenever they've been summoning. Between Black Keys and Mappo Tofu, we gotta include the priest. The priest needs to show up in this game. So immediately follow up Morgan with Grigori Rasputin. I think that's a very strong follow-up.
I like this. You're throwing in more villain type servants. I like it. So
yeah.
So no, I'm actually pretty hyped. If Rasputin got announced, I'd be pretty hyped for it. Yeah, but again, I decided not to put in Rasputin in my roster, so probably a hot take there. But yeah, that's me. But okay, I'll go ahead and let you go on to your third one as well, so that I can go to my fourth.
Yeah, so for my DLC 3, this was before we were actually including each other's picks. This is actually someone you have already picked. So to include an OG Fate Stay Night rep in order to hype up the fan base, this is where Emiya shows up. Okay. This is where Emiya shows up, right here in DLC 1. That's where we finally get Emiya. People are like, where has Archer been? Why can't I end up having him fight against Gilgamesh? Well, there he is. He shows up in DLC 1. Please purchase the season pass. Thank you.
That's interesting.
Fairly balanced and versatile character, not too strong in one area, tons of different moves in his toolbox. I definitely want Row Eyes as a defensive counter, and then you would just hype up the entire crowd by just playing Unlimited Blade Works and, you know, releasing Emiya as a music pack DLC, which everyone would include in their online battles, and you get sick of hearing it. So Emiya showing up right there.
I mean, I can, like, reveal wise, yeah, I can definitely see that. But I just, like, to me, Emiya is just like a staple, and I feel like he has to be on the base roster. But I mean, I can see why you go with that. I mean, it's especially with a roster like that, your base roster like that. So
yeah, it was definitely between Emiya and Musashi for my auto includes, but I felt like with how recent Samurai Remnant is, I think Musashi showing up was the main thing that pulled me into that.
Yeah. Okay, that's a honestly, like, in my opinion, I feel like that's a very interesting DLC pick. Again, to me, Emiya is hands down
like more of an auto include.
Yeah, to me, that's just me. But I mean, I respect it. All right, so my fourth DLC, I think this has to be a servant that a lot of people are going to be hyped with, even though this servant has been in a fighting game before. I just feel like this is also, in my opinion, somewhat of an auto include, but I also think just works very well as a fighting game character. Dantes.
Yeah. Now, which version are we talking? OG Edmond Dantes, or are we talking the Count of Monte Cristo?
I'm gonna throw them as one. I'm gonna throw them. I'm
Yeah.
gonna mix up their moveset a little bit, and then I'm gonna have as costumes. So DLC
Nice.
as a costume. Monte Cristo as a costume. So that's how
Everyone.
that's how I saw it. It's basically to save a slot, if that makes sense, for other
I feel ya.
servants.
No, that totally makes sense.
Yeah, that's when I was thinking about implementing like the summer versions for like Raiko and like Miyamoto Musashi. I was like, I'm gonna mix up a little bit of their summer move sets to their regular move sets, and then of course their costumes as costumes. That's why Martha kind of didn't really like ring to me, because you have original Martha, Rider Martha with the staff, and then you have the summer Martha. That's completely different movesets. How do you how do you mix those together, kind of thing? That's why I didn't really think about Martha.
I gotcha.
Yeah. But yeah, that's my DLC 1 roster. Again, Morgan Le Fay is actually my final DLC for season 1. So you still have 2 slots. You have number 4 and number 5. Let's go ahead and hear them out.
Strong finisher on that. Nice. So for my DLC 4 slot, I really wanted to make the Fate Grand Order fan base specifically happy in my choice. So I ended up picking a character that I thought would do that. I also wanted a character that had a high risk, high reward system, sort of an ability to maybe like charge up something that they are attempting to use, but then when they go to unleash it, it can, if you end up missing with it, you're really going to be punished super duper hard. And I thought a character that would do that well was someone who we know is very good at, charging up to do an ultimate attack to save his best friend. So Mandricardo is going to be my 4th one.
Wow. Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Mandricardo going to be my 4th one. Charge up Durandal entirely through your match. Hope you can end up hitting them with a fully awoken Durandal. If you don't, sorry, buddy, you're kind of screwed. But yeah, Mandricardo that is really going to make the FGO fans super duper happy to see my besto friendo show up in the game. And that is an interesting enough out of left field pick, I think.
That is definitely a left field pick. Honestly, I can see it happen in DLC wise. But
he's definitely not a base roster guy, but like as a DLC character where we're trying to include these interesting like side picks, Mandricardo showing up in that.
Wow, okay. That's a really interesting pick there. Was not expecting that. Okay.
Yeah, and then we are going to end out DLC 1 with another zoner, and this is finally where my joke character shows up. We are closing out DLC 1 with my joke character, but it is an insanely popular joke character that will drive people to want to play the game. That is Oda Nobunaga, OG Oda Nobunaga.
I see.
I haven't had a Gouda Gouda rep on my roster, so we're going to go with Fate Deadpool for this portion. So there are going to be skill players out there that can make her work, just like there are skill players out there that make Dan work, skill players out there that make Neko Arc work. That will be the same case for Nobunaga. If you want to do a fun and serious nod, well, I guess maybe she can turn into Demon King Nobunaga for her Noble Phantasm, but then just revert right back to OG Nobunaga if you want to do that. I want Tanegashimas firing from every corner of the screen, and I want mini Nobus to be implemented like Tron Bond serve bots from Marvel vs. Capcom. I want little mini Nobus of all different varieties to show up on the screen, shooting guns, hitting people with swords, jumping down and grabbing someone so you can get a hit in like Zamasu and Goku Black from Dragon Ball FighterZ. Get those mini Nobus in there for my joke character. And there you go. Nobunaga ends up rounding out DLC 1.
No, I like that. I like yourself. I thought about like the mini Nobus coming in, like Nobu, like doing some kind of joke characters. I can definitely see that. Personally, this is just me personally. I don't know if I would have her as the last DLC character. That's just me though. Like,
swap between her and Rasputin or something like that?
Something like that, yeah. It's because honestly, to me, like I feel like putting Mandricardo and then Nobu, I feel like that just doesn't really go out strong, if that makes sense. I'm not saying they're bad picks. I'm just saying that maybe like the release order might not be the best. If that makes sense.
I gotcha. I felt like ending on a joke character was like a nice and silly way for those who are still playing the game and like want something new to mess around with.
Uh-huh.
That was kind of my thing, because
Okay.
with any fighting game, you're always going to have like that strong base at release,
Mm-hmm.
and then it always ends up petering out down to like, well, now we have only like the super hardcore that are still playing.
Right.
So that's how you end up seeing like when they end up putting Bedman into Guilty Gear Strive, like
Uh-huh.
who gives a crap about Bedman? Those like 10 people who give a crap about Bedman really give a crap about Bedman.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Okay. I respect it. All right. So now we go into DLC 2, Season 2. You already have a slot. You have Jay Alter, which I find it unbelievable you add her in so late.
And look, it's just I don't care about Jalter as much as most people do. I just know she has to be in the game.
Yeah. Oh, wait, Seth has a comment saying that Jason would be his Joe character, which I agree. Jason would be a great Joe character for sure.
Especially if that's like the only way Heracles makes it into the game.
Yeah,
that's real.
Yeah, no, I did think about that. I really thought about that. I was like, oh man, if Jason was in here, then we don't have to worry about putting in Atlanta. We don't have to worry about putting in Media. We don't have to worry about putting in Heracles. So, like, yeah, I think that's a great Joker. I think, honestly, Jason might be, like, an honorable mention for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
Like, another character, I think it would be a great honorable mention. And this is just because I think the mechanic would be interesting. Jekyll and Hyde.
Ooh.
Like just like their Noble Phantasm. Noble Phantasm turns into Hyde, and then goes berserk kind of thing. So you basically have to learn two different characters.
It's like, man, in terms of characters in FGO, like, talk about wasted potential. Like, that entire moveset, it kind of makes me sad, honestly.
I think they're gonna fix them somehow. I really do. I really believe it, because like they're starting to fix Geronimo right now. So and then it's gonna be slow, but I think they're gonna eventually fix Geronimo to the point where like he's gonna be very useful. I mean, he's actually somewhat useful for quick teams now. So yeah.
I absolutely pray for All Muscle's sake. I really do.
Yeah. So yeah, I think a lot of the older characters, I think they're gonna get some pretty decent buffs. But anyways, going back to the DLC here. So all right, so again, you already have one DLC character on your season 2 roster. So again, we're gonna go back to the conversation regarding riders. So there are actually 3 servants I believe could have been my rider slot in the base roster. But one of these servants to me was DLC. It was just literally yelling out, "I'm a DLC character. Add me as a DLC character." The 2 other servants who I thought were the choices were Achilles and Iskandar.
Yeah, no, I totally see where you're coming from with that.
Yeah, so Iskandar, kind of like your final choice in your base roster. I could see Iskandar on a horse and then just fighting on that, or maybe or using it as a Noble Phantasm. Noble Phantasm fights on the horse kind of thing. It was like kind of like that. But again, I didn't want to have too many big heavy characters, so my DLC character is Nemo.
Ooh, that's great.
Yeah,
I really like Nemo.
Yeah, I think this might be a little bit of a questionable choice to some fan bases, maybe. But I think Nemo is a great choice. I mean, hitbox wise, probably, very small, kind of like the Yoda in a way, because he is a very small character. But
you're giving me flashbacks to
Soul Calibur.
You're giving me flashbacks to Soul Calibur. Yeah.
But I think Nemo would be a great character. I mean, we've mentioned this multiple times. Like, to me, he's like your Nobu, throwing the Nemo, system.
Yeah.
Right. Nemo. You have the chef.
So many Marines.
The Marine. You have all the Marines. The Nemo Marines going in. So, and then not only that, it would hype up not only the entire FGO fan base, but specifically the female fan base, because the Shota fan base. So
it is concerningly strong.
Yeah. So I think Nemo is a servant you announce during FGO Fest or something like that, and all the female fan base are going to be screaming. So to me, Nemo is, I think, a great start off to DLC Season 2.
Oh yeah, just...
Yeah. So, yeah. All right, how about your choice?
All right, so for my DLC Season 2, just like you did in the beginning of your DLC 1, let's go ahead and come in strong with a coming together of the Type Moonverse. But we're going to go in a more recent direction because of Tsukihime Remake. This is where Arcwade's going to show up.
Okay, yeah. Makes sense.
Yeah, this is where we're going to put in Arcwade. I mean, you could go Archetype Earth if you want, but I kind of feel like just lifting her moveset from Melty Blood would be the absolute best way to go.
Yeah,
I really think she's a well-constructed character.
No, I completely agree with that. I'm gonna put in the Type Earth version thumbnail in here, but
for sure.
we're talking about Arcwade, yeah, like that moveset instead of the Type Earth one. Oh, why can't I put her in for some reason? There you go.
Oh no, are you not allowed?
No, I got it. There you go. No, I like it. Like I was honestly debating if I wanted to put Arcwade. I was like, dude, I have to put someone, right? Like,
oh yeah. I'm like, listen, either at some point in this DLC, either Ryogi, Arcwade, or Aoko is gonna show up. It's gonna be one of those three.
Yeah. So yeah, my Melty Blood representative is Shiki, and I guess yours is gonna be Arcwade, right?
Yep.
Okay, all right. Let's see. My next one, I think, will definitely hype up the community. I think this is kind of a must in a way. Everyone loves him. I see people cosplay as him all the time.
Muramasa.
Yeah. He has to be in it. I think it's Shido. And again, it's another Fate Stay Night face, but you just have to throw him in there. I think he's just a must.
Yeah, he is actually insanely popular for sure. I get it.
Yeah. I mean, I think he's going to be your typical, like, I think he's going to be somewhat similar to, like, Barghest in a way, as in, like, he's going to be like that kind of powerful one-hit type servant. Not too fast, but still pretty decent when it comes to movement. And then I think he's also somewhat going to have range in a way. He's going to do a lot of pokes, but I think he's going to be that type of like heavy character, just like do some heavy slashes as he goes in. So yeah, that's my DLC number 2.
That's really interesting that you ended up pulling him in DLC 2, because I was actually going to close out my DLC 2 with Muramasa.
Oh,
that was going to be my closer. Yeah.
Okay, so go ahead.
Yeah, I think that's a really strong closer to end the game on. That's kind of like your Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta moment or something like that. It's like, oh my god, there he is. Finally. We've waited so long. Like, I just think he's an insanely strong closer for that.
Got it, yeah. But yeah, that's my number 2. So I guess I'll go ahead and go with my. Oh, actually, you have a number 2. I'll go ahead and do number 3. Then you can do number 2. How about that?
Yeah.
Okay. So this one, this one's a really hard one because there's so many versions of this servant.
And we're getting down to the wire. It's like, what do I include?
Yeah, this one was really, really hard. Like, I was actually kind of debating if I wanted to throw this servant in my base roster as well, but not this specific. Like, the one that I wanted to put in my base roster was the caster version, and that's Tamamo no Mae. But
okay,
Tamamo no Mae. But if I were to throw her into my base roster, it would be Tamamo no Mae caster. But because it's DLC, we gotta put Koyan Skaya.
All
I
right.
think Koyanska is
Now, of light or of dark?
uh that's the question, right? That's the question. I feel like this is again a little bit cheating, but you have to mix up their moveset a little bit.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it would be a little fair. Not fair.
No,
But
it's totally fine.
yeah,
It's to try to make everyone happy.
yeah. Because again, I don't want to throw in like another slot for Koyan Dark, so I think mainly Koyan of Light. But you do have a little bit of movesets of Dark in there as well. Yeah, that's my DLC 3 for.
Good, solid like entry to like keep everyone happy in the mid season for sure. So for my DLC 2, I had gotten throughout all the lists and I was like, oh crap, do I really not have a pretender? What the heck am I going to do here? And then I went and I I was looking through like fan art and stuff like that and trying to figure out who would be the best pretender for me to include in the game. And I mean, I was waffling between Oberon and this character, but I've got to pick Tenochtitlan or Tlaloc or Huchli or whatever the hell she wants to call herself right now. I think
okay.
with the meteoric rise that this character had in popularity when she first showed up, I feel like we're gonna make a lot of fans happy by including her.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's the summer version. Oops. No, like, yeah, she is like recent. Like, I mean, I knew she had like a small fan base when she was first announced. But the summer version for sure kind of blew her up.
The second summer came out, I'm just like, oh man, this fan base has absolutely exploded. This is a massively popular character. So yeah, let's go ahead and chuck her in DLC too.
Yeah,
and then she will also be our pretender rep for the whole thing.
No, yeah, like she was definitely a servant I heavily considered as a playable character in this fighting game roster. She's definitely an honorable mention in my opinion. But yeah, it was just, again, like, we're so limited on the slots, so I decided to not put her in. But I mean, no, exactly, I think that's a good choice for sure. Okay, so I'm gonna go to DLC number 4 here, and then I'll finish off my DLC 5 so that you can finish off your DLC 4. So I'm gonna go ahead and this is gonna be a personal choice. This is the choice that's gonna make me happy. There's so many servants that we can choose from. I was thinking about Hokusai. I was thinking about Tomoe Gozen. Of course, I'm thinking about throwing in Marie Antoinette, Avenger. And as much as I would love to put Marie Antoinette Avenger in this roster, I stopped myself. I told myself no. I hit my wrist. I'm like, no, Sean, don't do it. Man, this is kind of hard. It is hard, but
like, we gotta do it for the fans. But this one's for me.
This one is for me. And she, out of all the servants, she's my second. Like, if Marie Antoinette wasn't a thing, it would be the servant. Suzuka Gozen.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah.
I do like Suzuka quite a bit. She's great.
Yeah, Suzuka is just. Well, yeah, if Marie Antoinette wasn't a thing, Suzuka Gozen would be my go-to servant.
Plus, she can have special dialogue with BB.
Yeah. And then, like, again, her DLC or her costume would be like swimsuits and stuff like that, Santa version. So yeah, that's my Suzuka right there. That's my choice. Again, this is just a personal thing. I'm sure everyone would be like, oh, it's a wasted slot. Which I don't want to say I agree with, but she's gonna be that choice. She's gonna be that one. Like, I don't care. I'm throwing her.
It's Kita's game, and she's showing up. Damn
it! This is my roster. So yeah, there you go. That's my number 4. So yeah, my number 5 slot. This one was hard. I want to go with a bang. There are so many servants I want to throw in here. I've already named a couple, but Kriemhild was definitely a servant I highly considered. I really highly considered. But again, she's a saber. Like if I'm gonna throw in Crimhild, I would replace her with Barghest.
Okay, that's understandable.
I would replace Barghest with Crimhild. That's how I see it right now. But I'm gonna go out with a bang here, and man, I really wish Solomon was a choice. I really wish. I really wish he was a choice.
You and me both, buddy.
But man, I'm gonna go with a bang here. I'm gonna go with Tiamat.
Ooh, okay. That's a solid finisher. That is definitely a Muramasa tier finisher for sure.
I honestly I could have probably put Tiamat a little bit earlier into the DLC, but looking at my lineup here, it's like I just don't see Nemo or Muramasa or Koyan, obviously Suzuka being that last DLC. So yeah, Tiamat is gonna finish off for me. So put Tiamat in. There you go.
And there she is. Beautiful.
All right. So for you already revealed Muramasa as your final choice, but that number 4's choice. Who is it? I need to know.
We can 100% agree and disagree on Muramasa being a great ender. However, for my other choice, I was looking through popular servants, and I'm like, okay, I really need to make sure my number 4 is a like super popular character that I think most of the fan base is gonna love. Some are definitely gonna be polarized about it, but as we're closing out this DLC, this character's inclusion is going to make waves no matter you love them or hate them. So for my second to last DLC character for DLC 2, I went with Ashia Doman.
Ooh, okay. I like it.
Yeah.
I like it.
I went with Ashia Doman. I went with, pure magic, pure zoning, curses, debuffs, that whole shebang, a character that is entirely polarizing no matter what in the community. A character where it's like you either completely adore him and forgive him for all of his past war crimes, or you want to see his head on the pike, and there is no middle ground in between. So yeah, Doman definitely making his appearance in here. Yes, with that icon that has made so many Fate fans just incredibly happy or incredibly angry. No matter what way you slice it, Doman is a character people will always be talking about.
Oh, I kind of want to put Dolman in my roster now. Like, after hearing that, like I completely forgot about Curse. Like I forgot that was a thing because Aki again came up in my mind. So I was like, okay, straight up poison character. I think poison. Curse just like passed through my head. So that's actually a really good one. I can see a lot of like curse mechanic combos, like throw in curse, do more damage or defense down kind of thing on the enemy, right?
Whereas poison could be like a slow draining of health, curse could be like a stacking buff where you end up hitting a certain amount of curses and then it just boom, lots of damage off the health bar immediately. Not like an instant kill or anything like that, but just you've stacked enough curse on them, now it's really gonna hurt.
I think that's really fun. That's actually, I like that a lot. My god, that's a really man, that's a really good one. I really, really like that a lot. Oh man, and then not only that, he actually looks like a really good villain character as well. Ooh, that's so good. That's a good pick. Pick. Oh man, why didn't I think of that? Shit.
Oh, Doman. Man, oh, Doman.
I kind of want to.
And then
I kind of want to replace Koyan for Doman. But man,
the impact that Doman just made.
That's a good one. That's a really, really good one. Yeah. All right, okay, yeah. So our roster is finished. But before we say we're officially complete here, do we want to change anything?
No, I'm locked in.
All right, yeah.
I'm locked in. This is it.
I'm locked in as well. I think this is the roster for me. This is base roster, and this is the DLCs coming in. And whenever FGO 2 comes out, it'll be a bigger roster. Like, let me ask you this: like, base roster, do you think 15 is fine, or is it a little too much? or too
I
little?
think 15 is fine if you're doing a one-on-one fighter. 15 is definitely fine.
Kind of like Street Fighter,
if this
right?
was like, yeah, if this
Yeah.
was like a team-based game, that is way too few. Like
Yeah.
if a Marvel vs. Capcom game launched with like 15 characters in the roster, that's like, what are we doing here? There's not
Yeah.
nearly enough variation.
Mhm.
But for one-on-ones, 15 is entirely fine. And yeah, like Sethi is saying, OGMK was only 7. I think like Guilty Gear had a similar roster size. Street Fighter 6 on launch had a similar roster size. 15, you picked a good number. That's definitely good.
What was Grand Blue Fantasy? Was it like 13? No, it was like it's like
Let me
15. Was it 15
see.
too? I can't remember.
Grand Blue Fantasy OG roster. We have technology now. It is. Oh God, what was the OG roster?
It didn't seem
Characters
too
Grand Blue
much.
Fantasy versus 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11.
11. Okay.
Yeah, it launched with 11 characters, and then they added 4, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 DLC characters.
Oh, okay. Got it.
Yeah,
All right,
and then
all right.
all of them were base characters in Rising.
I see. I see. Yeah. So like again, there's 200 and like 240 playable servants, and or I think give or take. A total including the NPC servants that we fight, there's a total of 246. There's no way you're implementing 246 servants in a fighting game. No way. Just
Absolutely
no way.
not.
Unless it's Mugen.
Even then, you end up running into the problem of like, if there's that many characters, they can't necessarily always be high quality characters.
That's correct.
Unless you have like an Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3 budget, some characters are going to start to feel really, really samey.
Yeah, but
like even UMVC 3 has 50 characters, and that's it. 5-0.
No, and no one's using so many of those characters. It's always like the staples, like Doctor Doom, Virgil, Zero, maybe Hulk here and there and stuff like that. So yeah, I completely understand. And like I guess Sentinel too. Yeah, I forgot about him.
Yeah, dude. You got plenty of the ZMC teams online, like just Zero, Dante, Virgil, like that's it. Everyone chanting ZMC.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, like, are there any honorable mentions on your side that you think? I mean, I've already said mine, my honorable mentions. How about you? Do you have any honorable mentions?
I had some honorable mentions that I was like some characters I was definitely waffling about including that ended up not making the final cut. I really wanted to put in Kenshin, but I couldn't justify putting in Kenshin. I really wanted to put in Ushi Gosen, but we've already got Raiko, so I'm like, no, we want to have more variety. We can't put in Ushi Gosen. And then I ended up finally having to cut Lobu, because as much as I love Lobu, I don't think most people like Lobu as much as I do. So that ended up being a cut that hurt me deep. Any Three Kingdoms characters was a deep cut for me.
Yeah, like Seth is saying in the comments, Vlad would have been a great choice. Yeah, I agree. No, Vlad was definitely someone that I highly considered, but I didn't want to throw in too many berserkers. And then like I wanted to put in Saber Alter. I felt like Saber Alter is like a must because it's Saber Alter. But I wanted to stay away from like implementing the same character over and over and over again. I feel like that's like the one thing that I hated about fighting games a lot. Like for example, Dragon Ball. Like how many freaking Gokus do you need? Like really? Like we don't need
many Gokus.
We don't need like 100 Gokus in a game.
Oh yeah, there's even in Sparking, there's so many Gokus. That's why I play like Nail online, because like that way nobody will ever see my character.
So there's that, and then like even though I like the idea of like or like for example like Street Fighter, like there's so many Shota characters, but they're unique in a way, right?
They each played like fairly differently. Like even between Ryu and Ken, there's a difference. Akuma's got more than enough differences to be a justifiable character. Even in Street Fighter 4, when they did like Gouken and all that, Gouken had enough differences to be a justifiable character. So they do a good job differentiating.
Yeah,
just enough.
If I were to have an evil character, it would definitely be, Saber Alter, or an evil version of a character. It'd be Saber Alter. But I just feel like she'd be somewhat similar to Barghest or like Muramasa in a way. So that's why I didn't add her in. Another character I really thought about was putting Arjuna in. Arjuna's super popular servant, but I didn't really want.
When you're coming down between Arjuna and Emiya, it's like
Like I thought about putting in a pure archer. I really did. I can't remember her name from Grand Blue Fantasy, the archer girl, the one with the bison slide.
Is that? That's not Zoe. It's Matera.
Yeah. I thought about I thought about putting in a pure archer. I really did. But I thought that wouldn't be too fun. I don't want to like have them just like zoning all the time. I don't want them like
it kind of turns into like a new 13 or Lambda 11 situation from Blaze Blue, where it's like, oh, now I am just actively not playing the game. Like they just keep me away.
I don't want to have that keep away game. I don't want that storm from like MVC2. I don't want that.
Oh, I think a lot of people would yell at you.
Yeah, so I wanted to stay away from that. That's what I wanted to stay away from. So that's kind of the reason why I didn't really put in like a gun character like Tez. I was actually really debating if I wanted to put Calamity Jane as well.
Oh yeah, I mean I have faced my own share of happy chaos trauma as a Potemkin main on Guilty Gear Strive, but I feel like just to cater to that player base, I had to include somebody like that. But I can understand that amount of zoning trauma can really hurt. It really can hurt. I've had some days where I'm just like, I hate this game. Why do I still play it?
I think if I were to really replace someone, it would be Barghest, and I think I'd replace her with Ureshkigal.
I see that. I see it. Yeah, there's going to be some Uresh fans. They're like, oh my god, I just realized something.
Yeah.
We don't have any Rins.
Yeah, no, that's the thing. Like again, like I was really debating if I really wanted to put Ureshkigal here. Like Ishtar, I think is understandable. Again, like just try to implementing that into this game would be a headache. But like, yeah, no Rin faces. I think we're gonna get a lot of backlash from. I'm
sorry, Rin fans. I'm sorry, Rin fans. I'm sorry, Medusa fans.
Yeah.
I was just thinking mechanically. So like, this is where we're at.
Yeah, I think we were thinking mechanically. We were thinking about not putting in too many faces from Fate Stay Night. Honestly, it's kind of, if you think about it, it's kind of blasphemy to put Luvia instead of Rin in my roster.
Oh yeah, that is a statement right there.
Yeah, and then like again, like I put Jaggerman instead of Rin, which is insane. But again, I wanted a joke character. It was either her or Jason, right, as a joke character for me. But I thought Jaggerman just made a huge impression on me in the anime Babylonia, so I wanted to throw her in there.
Yeah, I know, man. They're like certain characters. Believe me, there are certain characters we each like that we couldn't justify including.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if I was just throwing in characters I like, yes, I would have thrown in Scheherazade. But I couldn't justify throwing in Scheherazade, so I didn't. Yeah. But I know I've made several enemies of Rin fans and Prisma Ilya fans, but this is just the way it's gonna have to be.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure a lot of you guys are gonna be like, oh, we're no Hassans. No Mysterian Hero X, no Merlins, again, like you said, no Medusa. Like there's just so many, again, there's so many characters that we do want to put in this roster, but you have to think about it as like a developer, as balancing. Like some of the, like again, like even though these characters would look really cool, we wish to see these characters in the fighting game. You got to remember, not everyone works in a fighting game. Not everyone
for sure
works.
Yeah, like I really don't think Merlin would work in a fighting game. I'd sooner run like Yui Shosetsu or Artoria Caster Berserker or someone like that over Merlin. Like some characters just don't fit in super duper well.
Now, if we're adding in assists, that's a different story. That's a
That's you can do whatever you want.
Yeah, that's a completely different story. Like obviously you can throw in your Merlins, you can throw in your Zhugliangs, you can throw in your I think, you know, like your Voyagers or Europas and stuff like that. I think they like I think a lot of Archer service would be supports because they can just do like kind of like do missiles or something like that.
Yeah, you could like throw out a crazy tentacle slash with like Child Murderer Gita Ray or something like that, but as a base character, not necessarily.
Yeah, if we're looking at this as like Street Fighter, like literally 2D fighter, side character, then yeah, that's different. So
yeah, like Daikoku 10 is not gonna fit. I'm sorry.
Yeah. So yeah, that's again, if this was 3v3, that's a completely different story. Then we'll go wild. Then we have more roster slots, we have more creativity. So yeah, I think this is actually a pretty solid list here.
I think we did good.
Yeah, I'm happy with this. I'm definitely happy with this. But yeah, there you guys have it. That is our roster. Let us know who has the better roster. We'll post this on social media. We'll post this on a YouTube video as well. But I really need to give a big thank you to you, Kawaii. Really appreciate you coming out and doing this with me. It was really fun. I'm not only a content creator for FGO, but as a huge fighting game fan, I had a lot of fun doing this.
Yeah, dude, me too. You asked me to do something I would just normally do around like a table or something like that. Yeah. So no, this was great. I had a great time.
Yeah, definitely. So yeah, again, I'll be posting this on social media. I'm sure Kawaii will as well. So yeah, this video, I'm gonna edit it up, upload it onto YouTube, and then yeah, I think this is gonna be a fun thing going on. I'll probably post up like the original sheet so that you guys can make your own fighting game roster. I think that'd be a little fun to see.
Yeah, so, make a roster with one of your friends.
Yeah, I think that'd be really fun. But yeah, that's basically going to be about it, guys. Really appreciate your time watching. Really appreciate again Kawaii for doing this with me, and yeah, it's basically going to be about it. For those who don't know Kawaii, he actually does have a X account. He also has a YouTube channel. Definitely check him out. Once this video is uploaded, once this is posted on Twitter, I'll leave all his links so that you go ahead and subscribe and follow him. And is there anything else you want to throw out, Kawaii?
I mean, yeah, those are the big things. Go ahead, subscribe and follow me. If you're watching this and haven't already subscribed and followed Kita as well, we are like 2 hours into the video. I kind of feel like you're just obligated to at this point, but it was really great.
I just realized we're 2 hours. Oh crap, I didn't realize it was 2 hours.
It was great, man. Thank you so much for having me, and great idea. Great idea. This is a blast.
Yeah, definitely. We got to do some kind of collab in the future again. So we'll figure something out. But hey, that's about it. Thanks for watching, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed. We'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.